Reliance Powerline for actually giving me this opportunity. I hope my voice is audible, right? I'll just share my screen.
Yes, it is audible.
Yeah. Just a brief about the company which I represent, Indian Energy Exchange. It's the one of the two operating exchanges currently in the country, energy trading platform, and almost we have 95% market share. So I keep on using the word exchange and the exchanges simultaneously. So IEX has been here for almost 13 years. We are a listed entity. We are the market operator and almost a prime mover in variety of segments, whether it's day-ahead market, term-ahead market. So we deal mainly in this short-term segment. So when I'm saying short-term segment, it's generally less than 1 year, but because of a regulatory jurisdiction issue between CERC and SEBI, it was only till 11 days, of delivery from the trade. That's the market segment which we deal. So only recently there has been a change. There has been at least some positive movement with Supreme Court giving that order. So we should expect that exchange operations, exchange deliveries also happen from 11 days to 1 year also. And we have been dealing with certificates. Even during COVID year, the last year has been a tremendous success for us. We have launched new market segments. I will talk about them shortly. And even this year, in 2021, we launched this cross-border trading. So cross-border trading has been there. It's on a bilateral basis between India, Nepal, India, Bhutan, India, Bangladesh. But because of when you come to exchange, it's collective transaction. The buyers and sellers are all clubbed into one single or all stacked up. So there's no bilateral transaction between a buyer and seller. Exchange is the counterparty between these two, between a series of buyers and sellers. So that's what happened this year with Nepal coming into the fold. You should expect some participation from other, hopefully from Bangladesh in the some time to come. So before going into this, first of all, the relevance of exchange or the relevance of my presentation or my points with the topic here. Conventionally, India is always a coal or thermal segment dominated power sector entity. So we had out of our 388 gigawatt capacity, almost up to 200 plus belongs to thermal. But within as mentioned by previous speakers also, within this past 6-7 years, we have made significant strides. Currently, we are having 100 gigawatt plus capacity, and we will most probably reach that 430 gigawatt by 2030, 450 gigawatt by 2030. So there's a significant greening of capacity. And in terms of peak demand, also we have not reached much, but we are still at 200. There is the capacity in the country far exceeds the demand. Our capacity is around 388. Our peak demand, which we touched in the last month, is around 200 gigawatt. So the first point is there is a greening of capacity, then the capacity significantly exceeds the demand. And because of and second point, another relevant point, I heard previous speakers talking about this inter-regional transmission corridor. So as he mentioned, there are 5 regions now. All of them are synchronously connected. So our inter-regional transmission capacity exceeds 1 lakh megawatt. This is very important point even for the operation of exchange or for the integration of renewables. When I talk about the markets, green markets which are currently here, or even for the exchange operation itself. And thirdly, there has been a significant decentralization, decarbonization. So all those Ds which we talk about, that decentralization, and although we could not achieve those ambitious targets which we have in rooftop segment, but probably we are gradually moving towards that goal, albeit at a slower rate. So when we achieve that, the grid as we see today may not be actually, it will maybe far different from what we actually see in future. There may be because of net metering or because of other incentives, there may be a profusion of rooftop capacities, all these rooftop solar capacities, and probably instead of just having a consumer and a generator separately, we may be having prosumers. Some of you might have definitely heard this word. A customer who will be injecting the surplus at even the farmost distribution level. So even you and I will be actually supplying power to the grid, and we'll be taking power from the grid, and probably we'll be having a net off, or there are different arrangements. So that's the third significant change which has happened. So, or which is expected to happen much more faster rate. All the points which I mentioned, in all these aspects, exchange operations play a far significant role. Whether it is renewable integration, whether it is meeting, whether it's demand decentralization, exchanges play the most important role, that ensuring that all of them operate perfectly or operate in sync with the current realities. I can skip a couple of slides. I will try to restrict myself. I will be more than happy to answer some of the questions at the last. This is just the robust ecosystem in which we operate. So exchange operates, basically all the sellers and buyers place the bids in the exchange. There are a variety of market segments, and we discover the price, and we give the schedules to the load dispatch centers, whether it's the state or central it's NLDC, or there are regional load dispatch centers. So we provide these schedules and in sync with them. Once it is done, our job is done. We don't deal in physical delivery of electricity. Delivery of electricity and the grid standards are all monitored by the SLDCs and NLDC, RLDCs. But we are the market operator. We ensure that there's a price discovery, and there's a proper price discovery, and scheduling part is done. So this is our job. And why is that the exchange or the IEX has a significant market share compared to the second exchange which we have currently? Because of the liquidity which we have. So you can see the numbers here, 4,400 plus industries, 55 distribution entities. So all these are participating. And you can see the generators, thermal generators, merchant generators, majority of them are thermal, but there is a significant minority of renewable generators who have gradually started participating in the exchange. In the last year, this is, again, we can skip this for now. Yeah. So these are the variety of market segments which you operate. You can see the first one. I will not explain all. You can see the first one, integrated day ahead market. Just a moment, please. Yeah. So till yesterday, this market segment was called day ahead market. Just yesterday, the day before yesterday, Honorable Minister has launched this market segment called integrated DAM, where there is a separate green and conventional market. But before that, prior to yesterday, this market is day ahead market, which has been there with us since 2008. Or definitely some of you are aware, you bid for the next day delivery. But with this integrated DAM, we have two markets. We have a green market in which the generators or the renewable suppliers or the discoms which are in surplus bid in this market segment. And there are also buyers who can actually buy green power, specifically green power. And whatever is uncleared, all the buyers and sellers have an option to roll that over to carry forward to the conventional segment. So this change just happened yesterday. And in addition, we have this green term ahead market and real-time markets, which were also launched last year. So this green term ahead market, this market segment which I am speaking, it has 4 sub-segments. So one market segment which I mentioned, it's green day ahead market. Day ahead market is for the next day delivery. Term ahead market, there are 4 sub-segments. There is intraday, day ahead contingency, daily and weekly. Intraday is the same day. Effectively, there's a gate closure period of 3.5 hours. So the trade happens now for a delivery of after 3.5 hours. Maximum. So it can happen after 3.5 hours also. The difference between the trade and delivery can be more than 3.5 hours also. But it has to be minimum. So that's how the intraday works. Day ahead contingency, it starts after the day ahead market gets over. So generally by 3 p.m. the results are known. So after that the day ahead contingency starts. Same, the delivery period is the next day. And we have this daily and weekly contracts, T+2 to T+11. Remember I mentioned this T+11 restriction on us. So you can pick and choose any of the day from T+2, because T+1, that is for today's trade, for tomorrow's delivery, you already have this day ahead market and intraday and day ahead contingency. From T+2 to T+11, you pick and choose daily contracts, and there is a weekly contract where you can do it on RTC basis, round the clock basis, for the entire next week. We have launched this real-time market as well in the last year, in 1st June 20. So in day ahead market, basically you are bidding today for tomorrow's delivery for all the 96 time blocks. Getco sir can actually appreciate in this 24 hours, we have 4 time blocks for each hour. So we have 96 time blocks. So for all those 96 time blocks, you bid between 10 to 12 in this day-ahead market, and we discover the price and so on and so forth. In real-time market, it's a half-hourly market. So the difference between trade and delivery is just 1 hour. So the standard example which we quote is from 20 to 45 to 2300. In that 15-minute time block, there is an auction happens for the delivery from 000 to 00030. The half an hour block of the next day's first time block. That's when the auction happens. And within the 15 minutes, we complete all the process and we provide the schedule. You may please appreciate the complexity which has gradually, or the complexity or the efficiency which you have brought into system. Before this day-ahead market, before this real-time market, you have one day-ahead market running for the next day just once. Now we have 48 auctions running on a continuous basis. And why are these real-time markets and green term market important for renewables? Now let me take a pause here from the slides. As Sir mentioned, the biggest challenge for integration of renewables, particularly for a DISCOM, is that the generation, first of all, DISCOMs are already dealing with the forecasting and scheduling on their demand itself. On the demand side, they're already facing their uncertainty. It's not so simple to just forecast for an entire control area as the size of has a size much bigger than the countries of Europe. But that's the forecast which the DISCOMs are already doing. In addition, when the renewables are there, in addition to demand side uncertainty, you are also adding supply side uncertainty. So although India has ambitious goals, we want to integrate renewables. The biggest challenge for DISCOMs to absorb that, first, difficulty in forecasting and scheduling. Second, the demand curve of the DISCOMs generally doesn't match with the renewables. Whether it's solar comes in the morning off peak, and wind comes in the night off peak or early morning off peak sometimes. It rarely matches with the evening peak or the morning peak. Morning peak, probably some morning peak may be addressed by solar, but most of the cases, this doesn't match with this one, the demand curve. Because of these two issues, integration of renewables has always been a challenge. Even from as and when the concentration of renewables is growing, currently we are looking at just 10%. Although we may have 100 gigawatt capacity, but the percentage terms, in energy terms, because of the lower PLFs of the renewables, we are hardly looking at 10%. But even with that, there are time blocks where in certain states, 60, 70% or 80% of the capacity is coming from renewables. Whether it's Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, there will be time blocks where, because of high wind, in the high wind season, mid-May to mid-September, it becomes practically very difficult for them to actually absorb that renewable capacity. Because first of all, as mentioned, renewables is a must. You cannot back them down unless it's a grid emergency. And to manage this, we don't have an optimal storage solution. See, we have pumped hydro, as earlier speaker was mentioning, but that's not, at least it's not in a sufficient capacity. And the gas is not cheap. We are looking at $20 and $30. And even if the gas, we have that ambition also that India should be a gas-based economy, but parking it aside, we don't have a storage solution which can operate at a grid level. So effectively, we are left only to depend on the thermal plants, where the ramping up and ramping down is slightly difficult. They cannot attune to the ramp up and ramp down of renewables. So what is the tool left for them to integrate? Markets. So exchanges introduced, or we introduced this green markets with the support of Honorable Commission and Ministry. Obviously, it has been an offering for quite some time. So that there is at least some tool to address some of the problems. On a larger, so let us see how exchanges can address this, at least partially or not all the problems. First one, the intermittency and variability. As and when the delivery is closer, it's easier for the DISCOM or for any customer to actually give that kind of forecast and absorb that and give a better forecast. So when you're doing on a day-ahead basis, both DISCOMs, generators who are participating, they know on a better, but it may not be perfect, but probably it's better from a 75% to 90%. So there's a better accuracy. Second, since you're dealing on a larger control area, how does it be a larger control area? Because I mentioned the interregional transmission capacity of 1 lakh megawatt. So we are practically looking at the one grid of India. So on a larger control area with no transmission constraints, although we do experience some transmission constraints in certain time blocks, but majority of the time we don't experience transmission constraints. Because of the diversity when you're looking at the larger control area of the India, and when you're looking at a market of the entire India says, a surplus of 3,000, 4,000 at certain times, at certain blocks, can easily absorb by the different states, different customers who are looking to take that power. What is the advantage for the surplus entities or the generators? The DISCOMs currently are, except for probably Gujarat and some other DISCOMs, most of the DISCOMs are not in a great shape financially. So the payments for the generators are getting delayed, and which is actually impacting the returns. Their equity IRRs, whatever investments they made, it's gradually affecting the returns because of the payment delays. And there are curtailments, whether technical, commercial, whatever is the scenario, but because of that, their schedule is getting impacted. So for a generator, it is getting schedule guaranteed once you clear the market. Second, your payments happen the next day. That's the biggest value proposition, which the slide has skipped. In exchanges, payments happen tomorrow. There are no defaults, there are no delays over the entire 13 years. And that happens because that's how the exchanges operate. We take the entire margin before.
Can you just conclude because we are running?
Yeah, sure. So I just wanted to talk about this new products which we launched because these are the products which are looking for integrated day-ahead market, green day-ahead market, and green term-ahead market. In addition, I would like to just talk about a couple of new products which are coming. Yeah, because for the integration of renewables, what we have is we have this green day-ahead market, then we have this green term-ahead market, and in future we will be having this longer duration contracts. After this CRC and SEBI on consensus has reached, we will be launching this product 11 days, more than 11 days. DISCOMs will be able to tie up power for more long duration at most competitive prices. In addition, government is looking at these 3 initiatives, whether it is market-based economic dispatch, ancillary services, derivatives. All these new products will definitely help both for distribution companies as well as the generators to absorb variable RE, VRE we call it, and help in integration of renewables in a much better way. So that's it. If there is anything I can talk later, but I think I exceeded the time. So thanks for your time.